Hello again, everyone. Welcome to eHub Indonesia 2020 Goes Online. This is Study in Europe webinar series. My name is Anton Hilman. I'm going to be moderating this webinar. This webinar is going to be presented by Mr. Michael Wiglars, Education Advisor at Polish Embassy in Jakarta. Please stay tuned until the end of the webinar because we will hold a Q&A session. If you have any question about the presentation or anything related to the country's higher education, you can submit your question in YouTube's comment section anytime throughout the presentation. And now, please welcome Mr. Michael.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Michał. I represent the Embassy of Poland, and I'm going to talk to you for upcoming 20-30 minutes about Poland, about the country, because you might not be that familiar with the country. I will talk about studying in Poland, about the most important universities, and perhaps most interesting for you, I will talk about scholarships. Next. Yes, so that's a rough lookup of what we are going to talk about. Let's jump into it. Next. Poland, as you might know, has a similar flag as Indonesia. You can see it behind me. Except for that, it's a European Union member. So even though it's located in Eastern Europe, once you study and live in Poland, you can easily travel all around the European Union. The travel is very easy. Plane tickets are cheap, and it's very easy to visit other European capitals. Next. During the rich history of my country, we produced various outstanding figures that you might know and you might have heard of. Nicholas Copernicus was the famous astronomer of the 16th century, who is the author of the heliocentric theory. He was the first person to find out that the Earth revolves around the sun and not the sun around the Earth. Frédéric Chopin was the famous composer of the 19th century, still widely celebrated around the world, including in Asia. Maria Skłodowska-Curie, you might have heard of this outstanding scientific figure, probably the most celebrated female scientist of all times. She received Nobel Prize not once, but twice, and she continues to be inspiration for female scientists all around the world. Next. Jumping into the current world, you might have heard of the gentleman on the left, Mr. Lewandowski, one of the most celebrated strikers around the world. And towards the right of him is Mr. Egy Mulyana Wikri, young, very talented Indonesian player who currently plays in Poland in the club Lechia Gdańsk. And I hope his story will inspire you to also develop your career in Poland. Next. Very briefly about the current economy of Poland. We produce various games. The most famous one is The Witcher. You might have heard of that. It's a global hit. Based on that, Netflix produced a TV series also called The Witcher. This is all based on the fantasy book authored by Mr. Sapkowski that you can grab if you are into fantasy novels. Next. I would like to tell you briefly about the major academic centers of my country. Krakow is the old capital, not only boasting the oldest university that I will talk about later, but also various monuments, including UNESCO heritage site of the salt mine, ancient salt mine that you can visit. That's a world phenomenon with many sculpted chambers inside. Next to Krakow, once you live in Poland, you can go to the mountains. If hiking is your thing, there are wonderful Instagrammable high mountains there. Next, on the other side of the country, We have a sea, which is obviously not as warm as the Javanese Sea, but nonetheless, we have sandy beaches and the academic center of Gdańsk, which not only has exquisite old town, very good academic institutions, but also is a center of a trade of amber, a precious stone that you might want to buy and offer to your family back in Indonesia. Next, and next to Gdańsk, there is an Malbork Castle, the largest brick castle of Europe, which is an outstanding place. I've been there, and once you visit Poland, it's definitely worth a try. Next, this and other places are worth to be taken picture of and worth to post on Instagram. Of course, whether you're going to an Instagrammable country is not the main reason why you would choose that for studying, but it could be one of the reasons. Next, another reason. Next is the Polish cuisine. We have a very varied cuisine of halal food as well, including pierogi in the upper left corner, you can see here. We also offer other various foods, including bigos, which is cabbage mixed with sausage, rice soup, and kremówka, which is Polish traditional dessert, which you can find in many coffee shops and pastries. Next, of course, visiting Poland, as interesting as it is, it might not be enough for you if you decide to study in Poland. So for your information, Poland is located in the center of Europe, and you can very easily jump into the train or bus and visit big centers like Berlin, just after a couple of hours, or Prague. Or if you choose air connections, you can easily go to many places around Europe with direct connection from Warsaw, Krakow, and other cities in Poland. And the price-wise, it's also very competitive. We have cheap airlines in Europe, and the price, let's say, to London or Paris might be comparable to the price of flights from Jakarta to Bali. Next. Now about universities. These are top universities in Poland that you might be interested in. Jagiellonian University, the oldest one, the one that I studied in. It was founded in 14th century. Warsaw University, located in the capital of our country, the biggest one. Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznań in Western Poland, and Wrocław University. Of course, we have many others, including technical universities, and that achieve various prize around the world. And I'm going to talk about it briefly. Next. A few stories, success stories of Polish universities. In 2019, Technology University in Kielce won a global Mars rover contest. That's the contest where different teams of different universities build a model of Mars rover, and they meet once per year to compare the achievements of these rovers. And Poland won not only once but twice. Next, another example is the 2018, 2 years back, a competition on building a model of a plane, solar-powered plane. We're also on top. Next, since 2003, Polish universities, Jagiellonian University in Krakow and Warsaw University, achieve top score at the most important IT contest, IT coding contest in the world, IPCP. So if you're interested in IT programming, then definitely one of these two universities in Krakow or in Warsaw should be your choice, because they offer amazing courses on programming and IT. Next, and the last example of the exquisite quality of Polish technological universities is the team that is building Hyperloop technology. That's a technology started by Elon Musk. They are developing the concept right now. So technology is definitely a thing that we should be proud of, and post-technological universities are in the top of the world. Next, whether you're interested in technology studies or humanities or any other studies, the place for you to visit is the website go-poland.pl. You've got the address here. Over there, if you scroll down a little bit on the website, you can find a study finder, which helps you to choose and find the major that you're interested in. It has all the majors in English listed in different universities. So make sure you remember this website. Next. Now something that would be most interesting for you, perhaps, it's scholarships. Polish government offers scholarship in technical studies called Ignacy Łukasiewicz Scholarship. That's a scholarship for master studies, so S2, in majors like engineering, forestry, agriculture, IT, and related fields. We open recruitment for this scholarship every year around April, May, so make sure you don't miss the next deadline. I can tell you that that's the worldwide scholarship that we offer, and the biggest number of awardees is always from Indonesia. So you can always easily reach out to some Indonesian students that already graduated with this scholarship. Remember, it's for technical studies and master degree. Next. Of course, we don't only offer technical studies scholarship. There are many other scholarships on our offer. However, to find them, you need to do a little bit of your own research. And the place to start is the website of the Embassy of Poland. The address you can find right here. You can screenshot it, you can note it down. Over there, we list all the scholarships that are available, not only for technical studies, but also for humanities. Some of these scholarships are offered only for the second year or third year of your studies. Some of these scholarships are offered by the city that you will be living in. Some of them are offered by your university. So make sure you check this website, this address, and you will find more information about other available scholarships, except for the technical studies scholarship that I mentioned earlier. Next. However, even if you decide to study in Poland without the scholarship, it's quite important that you know that tuition fee in Poland is very competitive compared with other European countries. And the costs of living in Poland are much lower than other European countries. So even if you decide to study in Poland without a scholarship, that still could be a very competitive offer for you. So perhaps you cannot see very clearly what are examples of the living costs in Poland, but I can tell you in general that living in Poland would not be much more expensive than living in Jakarta. And things like food and entertainment, partying, could be much, much cheaper. So if you are into student life, you might want to consider Poland as your first choice. Next. Of course, studying is not only about visiting university, it's also about visiting in your free time, not only traveling, but also visiting cinemas, theaters, operas, and so on. And here is a small chart showing the number of these facilities in different regions of Poland. Of course, the leader is Warsaw, the capital, followed by the regions of Katowice and Krakow. So if cultural offer is one of the main reasons why you choose particular destination, you should consider these three first. Next, wrapping up already my presentation and looking forward to your questions. I would like to assure you that COVID situation is, as everywhere, a little bit serious, but by the time the next academic year starts, it will for sure have been eased, and the academic year starts in Poland on the 1st of October. So next academic year starts on 1st October 2021. By then, we will have no COVID, hopefully. However, already now we issue visas for students. In order to get a student visa, you need to submit all the necessary documents, including the letter of acceptance of your university. And to get that letter of acceptance, you should have your Indonesian diploma legalized. It's quite an easy procedure that you do in Indonesia in the relevant ministries. Regarding other relevant documents that are necessary, please visit our website of the Embassy of Jakarta and check the section Consular Information. Next, make sure that you follow the social media of the Embassy of Poland. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you are interested in Polish culture, we are posting many things about that. We're posting about history. We're posting about events, including online events. And we also invite you, if you live in Jakarta, to consider joining Polish course for free, which we organize at the University of Atmajaya and Universitas Indonesia. With that, I will finish for now, and I'm looking forward to hear your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Michael, for your presentation. Now we will begin the Q&A session. The first question, is there any scholarship in Poland for dentistry program?
For dentistry program, I am not aware of any scholarship of that, except that some cities, including Poznań, Wrocław, and Lublin, offer scholarships for any students that study major in that city. That is, in theory, it could include also dentistry. But we have really good courses of dentistry and other medical courses in Poland that are paid, and the price is, as I was saying, still competitive.
Okay, thank you very much. The second question is there any English program for bachelor to study games in Poland?
To study games, yeah. During my presentation, I was talking about gaming industry in Poland that is right now developing very quickly, with a prime example of the Witcher game and its producer CD Projekt. They are located in Warsaw, and indeed, I know of 2 places where you could study game production. In Warsaw, there is one private university that offers major in game production, including bachelor. And you can also study computer graphics that includes making videos for games as well. So the main cities to study that is Warsaw and Łódź.
Thank you. The third question, is it possible to get part-time job or being a work student? And is it possible to work in Poland after graduation?
Thank you very much for this question, because I forgot to talk about it during my presentation. The answer is yes, you can study, you can work and study in Poland. As a student, you don't need to have any additional work permit. You can have a part-time job during your studies. And many of the students, including Indonesian students that are right now in Poland, do it. They work in services, they work in coffee shops, sometimes they work in an office. All of this is available. And it's worth to underline that Polish economy is growing one of the strongest in Europe. Of course, not during the COVID time, but before COVID, it was growing very quickly, and it will recover very quickly soon. After studies, you might find a job. Polish market needs specialists, and then you apply for a stay permit, which is rather a straightforward procedure too.
Thank you for your answer. Is there any program taught in English, and do we need to speak Polish to work in Poland in general?
Of course, when you move to another country, it's always worth to be able to speak the language. I live in Jakarta and I try to speak Bahasa on a daily basis, but you don't need to be able to speak Polish to study in Poland. There are many courses taught in English. If you're interested to find these courses, I think there are at least 500 courses that you can choose. Please go to the website I showed earlier, go/poland.pl, and you will find a big selection of these courses. Yes, so yeah, you don't need to be able to speak Polish. But if you want to learn Polish and you live in Jakarta, please join our free course.
Thank you for your answer. Next question. It goes, is it possible to enter the university from a higher semester?
To enter university from a higher semester, excuse me, what does it mean? That, for instance, you have a bachelor in Indonesia and you follow up to master degree in Poland?
Their bachelor study in other university, not in Indonesia, but she does the transferring, considering transferring herself to another uni in Europe.
Okay. So there is a system of exchange of credits, academic credits between European universities, and within European universities, it's quite a straightforward procedure. It's quite easy. With the universities from outside of Europe and European Union, it could be a little bit tricky. So what you can do if you want to move to Poland from other European university is you should sign for your master or bachelor studies and from the beginning of the studies, and then speak to your professors that they should admit you, they should agree that your master study, your courses that you have done in other university would be accepted in your new university in Poland. So basically, I think it's possible if you speak with the authorities of your faculty, new faculty, and with your professors.
Thank you for your answer. The next question, it goes, how long does the international student are allowed to stay and working in Poland after graduation?
So in theory, after graduation, they should leave as long as their visa ends. But usually their stay permit is given for 1 year. So if they graduate, let's say in June, they should be able to stay for a couple of more months to travel around Europe or to stay in Poland and work. Until their stay permit is valid, they are fully capable of staying and working in Europe and in Poland. If they want to stay longer, they should apply for a stay permit with their new employer. They should find a job and their new employer will apply for the extension of the stay permit by another year, and then by another year, and finally, eventually you can get a permanent residence in Poland.
Thank you, Mr. Mikal, for your answer. The next question, it goes, does the private university graduate in Poland also globally recognized by the Polish Ministry of Education as well the other EU countries?
Yes. Obviously, every university that is legally able to function in Poland is recognized, and their diplomas are recognized, including private universities. There are a couple of good private universities that are quite popular with Indonesian students, and their popularity is growing. If you want to study international relations, for instance, and other humanities, you might consider a university called Collegium Civitas and Vistula University, or SWPS University. All these three are located in Warsaw. But of course, there are many other private universities around the country as well.
Thank you very much. The next question, it goes, is there any fully funded program to study in Poland?
Okay, so there is one fully funded program. It's called Ignacy Łukasiewicz Scholarship that I was talking about earlier. This program is for master's degree and is for technical studies. So studies like engineering, agriculture, forestry, IT, technical studies. Polish government could give you full scholarship, not only covering living costs and tuition fee, but also you get additional stipend every month. So that's the program that we offer. Additionally, I know that one of the Indonesian provinces, namely NTB, offers another scholarship for studying in Poland. So these are the two main scholarships that we offer, but also there is a number of some small scholarships offered by universities or cities in Poland. And to learn about these, you need to do your own research. And I encourage you to visit the website of the Embassy of Poland in Indonesia. We list all of these available scholarships. If you have time, please do your own research.
Thank you. The next question, it goes, is there any transfer program in Poland university or institution?
Transfer program? You mean
Yes.
like an agreement between Indonesian
between Indonesian university and Poland university?
So there is a double degree, but that's a European program. That's not an Indonesian program called European Master. That's a program founded by the European Union that we also list at the website of the Embassy of Poland. There are different agreements between university in Indonesia and universities in Poland, but so far none of them have a joint degree. We are working on that. We hope that there would be joint degree in the future, but so far not yet.
Thank you. Next question is about the living cost. How much does it cost for student?
Okay, so yeah, I had earlier in my presentation a small poster, and also at the website of Embassy of Poland, you can look it up. We give sample prices of different services and products that you can buy in Poland, and in short, it's at the end. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this one. Thank you very much. So, as I said, the rough cost is comparable to the cost of living in Jakarta. Internet access is cheaper than in Indonesia. Food is comparable. Coffee is the same price as in Indonesia. Dormitory or rented room might be a little bit more expensive than kos-kosan, but not by much. Of course, visiting a bar or a club is much cheaper than in Indonesia. But travel is very cheap. Public transportation is affordable as well. So overall, Poland is the cheapest or one of the cheapest countries of the European Union.
Thank you very much. The next question is about the PhD program. Does Poland provide fully funded scholarship for international PhD students, especially for biotechnology or molecular biology program?
The answer is yes. We do provide a scholarship fully funded for PhD program. And to learn more about that, you would need to reach out to relevant universities, technological universities in this case. We are looking for specialists in biotechnology. Please visit the websites of various technological universities in Poland. The best ones are Technological University in Krakow, in Warsaw, in Wrocław, and in Gdańsk, right? So if you contact these universities directly, they will tell you about their offer for PhD students. But in principle, yes, it's possible to get fully funded scholarship for PhD.
Thank you. Next question. Is there any college in Poland that offer marine science? Because yep, about the marine science.
All right. So we have two universities in Poland that specialize in maritime education. There is Maritime University of Gdynia and Maritime University of Szczecin. Szczecin, very hard to pronounce for foreigners. Both of these cities are located at the Baltic coast of the Baltic Sea. And both of them have courses on marine science. There might be also other universities. Please refer to the study finder at the website gopoland.pl. You will find it over there.
Thank you. Next question. Is there any fully funded scholarship for undergraduate students?
For undergraduate students, you can try signing up for the Polish University, paying a tuition fee, and usually after the first year, you can apply for the scholarship. So that will be a partly funded scholarship, right? Usually, your scholarship would be based on academic excellence or of your achievement, not only academic, but also it could be some social achievements. Then you can get a scholarship that we call in Poland the rector's scholarship. And then that could lower your tuition fee, or it can raise your tuition fee completely. So that would be the place to start. Otherwise, yeah, please refer to the website of the Embassy of Poland, where we list all the scholarships that we know of.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Next question. Is there any fully funded scholarship, especially for music, related both of education or performance?
Fully funded, no, but partly funded, yes. There are musical universities that cooperate a lot with students from Asia, including China, Japan. From Indonesia, the number is quite low yet, but hopefully it will be growing. The universities are very open for especially piano students. And after the first year, you can also apply for a scholarship based on your performance.
Okay, next question is about the possibility to open a business while study in Poland. Is it possible or not?
Yes, it is possible. We are open for foreigners opening business in Poland. So if you're looking for opening, for instance, an Indonesian restaurant in Poland, you are very welcome. There are already two in Warsaw, by the way, but in other cities, I don't know of any Indonesian restaurants or any other business, trading, investment. Yes, you can do it.
Okay. The next question is, when will the Ignacy Scholarship for 2020 and 2021 open?
So 2020, 21, 2020, these students are already in Poland, 2020, 21. The next one will be 21, 22, right? So next academic year. And we would open that around March, April. Please follow our website and please follow the website of the Ignacy Łukasiewicz Scholarship. So around April.
Thank you. Next question is, what is the the average minimum IELTS or TOEFL score to apply for bachelor degree?
Mhm. So actually that is decided by the particular university. It's a decision of a particular institution. There is no limit for Indonesian students or for any foreign students, any minimal score. Actually, we not only accept IELTS or TOEFL, we can also accept certificates called Cambridge certificates, including CAE, Certificate of Advanced English, Certificate of Proficiency in English, CPE, and others. So that is usually listed at the website of the Polish university, but there is not that very high score that is required for bachelor, for sure.
Thank you very much. For the last question, what are the preparation? What students need to do before applying to the Poland University?
Okay, so if you already know which major you would like to study, if you know which city you would like to study in, the next step is to go to the website of the university of your dreams and check in their English website the admission criteria. Usually they would list over there the minimum score of your English test. They would require you to have your diploma. If it's bachelor, the diploma of your high school. If you want to study master, the diploma of your bachelor degree, and you will need to legalize it, which is
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mikkel, for your answer and your.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
test. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
You can continue.
Sorry, I'm sorry. There was maybe some problem with the internet.
Yeah.
So you go to the website of your university and check in admission what is requirement. You check the minimum score of English. You check the requirements, other requirements. One of them is that you have your diploma legalized here in Indonesia. So if you start studying S1 in Poland, a bachelor degree, then you need to have your high school diploma legalized. If you start your master degree in Poland, you need to have your bachelor degree from Indonesia legalized. It's a very straightforward procedure that you do here in Indonesia, and later you go to the Embassy of Poland here in Jakarta, who will stamp it for you, and your diploma is legalized. So you check the admission. If you want, you can start studying Polish, which we encourage you to do, but it's not necessary. Yes, so that's the things that you need to do. So the website is the first place to go.
Thank you, Mr. Mikkel, for your answer and your presentation. That is the end of our Q&A session. For the participant, just a reminder, if you want to connect with Mr. Mikkel, you can check the social media given by Mr. Mikkel. Thank you very much and see you in our next session webinar.